getting it.
I'm also trying to figure going to
6. Wait, what's going?
Good evening.
Oh, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome, boys and girls. We are on Open Spike Sports Mic talking Super Bowl 60. I am Dylan, host of the Big D Podcast, Monkey Spectrum Sports. To me right, we got Big Rich, or as we like to call him, Big Sexy. Down below me, the Bear. And down next to him, Big Rich's sidekick, Adam McNally. Welcome, gentlemen.
Hey,
I'm his sidekick, man.
I'm just a sidekick today, guys. All
hey,
right.
I'm a bear. That's okay.
Are you a
Rich,
grizzly
Ben,
bear?
you're wearing that shirt tonight, and let me tell you something. That freaking goal he scored against the Penguins the other night, that was sick.
Oh, Bedard's nuts, man.
That was sick to watch live. Bedard he stopped on a damn dime, sprayed the goaltender, and just fired it top shelf. I thought that was I was just so amazed. And I know that you guys got your ass kicked the other night. I was there, and it was fun watching you guys get your ass kicked. But that goal by Bedard was just off the wall. I was pumped for that. I was like, wow.
He's you're starting to see they start building this team around Bedard. That Hawks franchise is gonna be good again.
Bedard's one of those guys that.
Live.
Yeah, Bedard's one of those guys that
Oh, sorry, Rick.
when you. No, it's all good. But Bedard's one of those guys. Remember, you had Crosby and Ovechkin. Everybody stopped to watch those guys play. And when you had Gretzky and you had Mario and you had guys like that, you stopped to watch them. It didn't matter who they were playing. They could have been playing a bunch of guys out in the street, and you want to watch this guy play. Connor Bedard.
Well, it's like watching Kaner.
For me,
Kaner is the same way. Like when he came out, you stopped when Kane got the puck.
Patrick Kane.
He would just do all kinds of creative things. I think Bedard's better than Kane.
I'm trying to remember the kid from Columbus.
It's too early in his career. It's too early in his career to talk about who's better than who.
No, but I mean, that's something. When I say that, I mean at this point in his career, he's better than Kaner was at this point in his career. But dude, Kane was amazing. But I think Bedard, given that he's got less to work with than what Kaner did, at this point in his career is a little bit better. You're right; it's way too early. But good on the Hawks for getting the next guy that should carry this franchise for the next 10 years,
But I just want to say I was so fucking impressed, Ken. I was like, what the hell did I just watch? I was like, holy smokes.
Yeah, he's insane.
But then I watched the goaltender let in 6 goals, and I was just like, wow, okay. That's the way this is gonna go.
What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
This is gonna bug me the rest of the show. Columbus Blue Jackets.
Yeah.
The kid was an absolute stud when he came out, but kept getting hurt.
Saad?
No, Rick. Was it Rick? Something or another?
Jay, you can.
Young kid, 8-10 years ago. When the team first got started. I cannot think of this kid.
Rick Nash. Rick Nash.
That's him. I think that's him.
Why he flourished with the Rangers.
Well, Rick Nash dealt with a lot of concussion issues. Actually, a really good player.
Holy smokes! So Jason is back in his original spot of podcasting instead of in the kitchen tonight.
Yep.
I just want everyone to know Jason used to do it in this room all the time whenever we first started, and then he finally moved to the kitchen.
If my wife ever decides to let me have my own old man cave, I would have my own permanent domicile. But unfortunately, that's going to have to wait a little while longer.
It'll happen. It took me a while to get mine. So,
hey, I got news for you.
Yeah,
I'm in our bedroom.
Nice. I love it.
If that makes you feel any better.
I'm in my home office.
Feel any better.
I'm in my home office.
Well, a home office is kind of a pseudo man cave because
I don't know. I'm in my spare room, but I kind of turned it into my mini uniform hanging up.
So am I the only one with the true man cave? Oh, there you go, Jason.
Now I feel so much better. Feel more comfortable.
I feel Ken, I don't know. Like I could hang everything in here and stuff. I just haven't. Like I have a whole room, and I only see so much.
You should do it up a little bit.
Huh?
You should put some, hang some, do it up a little bit. Make it nice.
I will if I ever get time. One day,
All right.
one day I'll open it all up for you, Ken, so you can see everything.
I mean, it's. I'll tell you what. Now that I'm in this version of the man cave with the cases and everything, the cases, of course, it's like a museum in some regards, but it makes it so nice and easy to maintain. It looks nice. I enjoy it. Yeah, I mean, it's enjoyable. I mean, I get to enjoy the room now. It looks clean. It's not cluttered. It's like all my stuff that I want out is out. I still got tons of stuff that's not even out, like other knickknacks. But I'm like, I don't want to over clutter the room because then it's like, then you don't see anything. You just see clutter. You know what I mean? So when you're able to like lay out your stuff, put on the walls, put your bookcases or what else stuff in it, nicely done. It does give it a nice comfort level. Put it that way.
Okay, guys. You know what week this is? Super Bowl week. Patriots, Seahawks, Patriots.
No, it's not. It's Puppy Bowl.
Or Kidden Bowl, whatever bowl.
Oh, Puppy Bowl. The Puppy Bowl at halftime. I think I'll be watching that this year.
I know what I'll be watching at halftime. It's not going to be the.
I'll be watching the food in the kitchen.
Santa Clara or whatever.
Back.
What is the greatest play in Super Bowl history?
1985. There's the Fridge scoring a touchdown. Okay, end the story.
That might be the worst play in Super Bowl history of Walter Payton get a touchdown.
No, the crime in that is that the Fridge scored a touchdown and Walter Payton didn't. That's the crime and all.
That's the biggest crime of the Super Bowl era. The best play in Super Bowl history.
Biggest regret. That was Dick's biggest regret.
I mean, dude, everyone's going to say the Immaculate Reception. I mean, come on.
That wasn't even a Super Bowl.
That was the AFC Championship game. It wasn't even a Super Bowl.
Never mind. Maybe there is some wiggle room there.
I mean, if we live in by the Steelers, I'm going to put James Harrison's interception from the night.
That was a big one.
Yep.
Santonio Holmes catch in the end zone, man. Same game, but Santonio Holmes catch.
Defensively, the St. Louis Rams stopping
Mike Jones.
The Titans up 1 yard short of the end zone.
Stopping Dyson on the 1 yard line.
Yeah, that was a pretty big play.
How about Tyree? Tyree holding it to his helmet.
Yeah.
Or what about Manningham?
Manningham too. But I mean,
right before that.
I mean, it's easy to go off.
Right before that.
I think the biggest defensive play though would have to be that Rams play. Would have to be one of the biggest defensive plays in Super Bowl history. I mean, because that 1 yard literally decided who won and who didn't.
So, Jason, what would be your greatest?
I don't know. I'm going to say the Butler interception was pretty big too.
Well, that's up there too for me. Yeah.
I don't know. I kind of like watching John Elway do the flip. That was pretty cool.
Yep.
I know that was against Jason's team, but that was a cool thing to watch.
It's almost like Jason's frozen in his screen there.
Also, the New England defensive stop against Seattle instead of when they didn't give Marshawn the rock. That interception, yeah.
Wait, hold on. Who turned that on?
He did it himself.
We all have shit underneath our names now.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm just curious.
It's in the settings.
What about the goal line stop by the 49ers against Cincinnati in Super Bowl 16? Pete Johnson was trying to go through and they stopped him 4 times. That turned the game.
Yeah. There's some good
just because you're a pup.
Jay, you're quiet tonight. What's going on?
I'm just waiting for you guys to finish.
Going to be a while then.
Okay. So I'm surprised that none of you have mentioned Desmond Howard's 99-yard kickoff return for the Green Bay Packers in Super Bowl 31 in 1997. Yes, that's the greatest one. And may I also add,
no, it's not, because Devin Hester did the kickoff return, only one in NFL history.
okay, but was Devin Hester the only special teams? Oh, no, because he didn't go to the Super Bowl. But Desmond Howard, after that 99-yard kickoff return and 90 punt return yards, by the way.
Wait. You said Devin Hester didn't go to the Super Bowl?
Yes, he did.
The game.
That kickoff returns how the Super Bowl opened.
At any rate,
that was in the rain in Miami, Jay.
Yeah.
That was the Tony Dungy and
yeah. Don't kick the Hester. They kicked the Hester. He ran the opening kickoff off for a touchdown.
At any rate, Desmond Howard, Super Bowl MVP, thanks to the 154 total kickoff return yards and 90 total punt return yards, only special teams player to win the NFL Super Bowl MVP award. Thank you. I was also going to say, what about the Malcolm Butler interception at the goal line for the Patriots? Did you already say that?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I would say those are my top two. There are so many great plays in Super Bowl history. You can't pick just one. I mean, you can, but I mean, it's up to interpretation and your opinion as to what you think is the best.
I mean, the Hester return
wasn't Julian Edelman touchdown pass to Philip Dorsett in the Super Bowl?
I mean, well, look at Devin Hester's opening kickoff return for touchdown is literally the only time that's ever happened in Super Bowl history. So, you know, that would be a good one. Another good one would have been the Philly special. That was a big play. You know, that was a pretty big play there. Yeah, Desmond Howard isn't lost me, but wait, is he in the Hall of Fame? No, okay, never mind.
No, he's not in the Hall of Fame.
He should get in. In all honesty, though, as a guy,
but he does have a Heisman Trophy.
That doesn't matter for the Hall of Fame. But as far as like we were talking the other day on the morning show, I think about the Hall of Fame and how it's jacked up. And if you look at like special teams guys, Hester was the obvious guy to go in, right? He should have been a first ballot. But we were talking about Howard, and Desmond Howard should be in too, as a return guy, because you know after Hester, he's in a group, a very small group after Hester, that you could make a very strong argument that they should be in the Hall of Fame as returners. He's in that group. I don't know if he's a clear-cut favorite of that group, but he is worthy of a look at for induction as a return guy. And I think Super Bowl performance only enhances that, where if you look at the other returners, where you could say, look, in their career, they had 6, 7, returns between punts and kickoffs. But he's got that Super Bowl accolade too. I think he's a good conversation and should get in. Unfortunately, Vinatieri looks like he's going to get in, which is not unfortunate. That's good. But the NFL still does not give enough credence to that phase of the game. And Desmond Howard for Green Bay was a huge reason why that team did what it did.
No. Time out. Desmond Howard is not a Hall of Fame. If we're going to put Hall of Fame special teams players in, Steve Tasker's going way before Desmond Howard.
I don't know. As a returner, Desmond Howard's got the chops. We'd have to do a side by side on, but he's, like I said, he's in a small select group, and the fact that he has the Super Bowl MVP as a returner gives him a little edge up on the other guy.
I felt like the NFL started to acknowledge special teams players when they elected Ray Guy, the great punter from the old Oakland Raiders, into the Hall of Fame.
Only punter in the Hall.
Yeah, exactly. But since then, it seems like they haven't really paid attention to that much. I agree with Dylan, though, where I think if we are going to get some more special teams guys in there, the first guy that needs to go is Steve Tasker from the Buffalo Bills. Because what he did on special teams cannot be understated. And kick returners, Ken, I think you bring up a good point, because every so often, especially in the NFL, we always hear about that one defining play or that one player that makes that defining play that turns the tide of a game. And they do it consistently enough throughout the stage of their career where it literally defines their careers. And we talk about kick returners. You could easily say the same thing about Deion Sanders. Now, he's in the Hall of Fame right now as a defensive back. But Deion Sanders was also a pretty darn good kick returner in his own right. I don't know if he's on that level of importance as a Desmond Howard or a Devin Hester or anybody else. But yeah, I agree. We need to get more special teams guys recognized and elected because they are just as important to the success of a team as any player is.
Well, and especially like we get, like we're gonna get another kicker into the Hall, which he's gonna be like what, the fourth field goal kicker. And dude, there are a bunch of other field goal kickers like Grammatica. You can make a case for Robbie Gould. You can make a case for. There's a lot of There's more than a few field goal kickers. You should be able to make a case for.
Morgan Anderson.
Yeah, definitely Anderson. And then return guys and even gunners. There are some guys who made a career out just being special teams specialists, like gunners, who would lead the league in tackles and turnovers. And like, yeah, I get it. A lot of times the return team is the leftovers. They weren't good enough to be on offense by themselves or defense. And then you get guys who literally say, you know what, I don't care about being on the offense or on the defense. I'm just going to work on the return stuff. I'm being a special teamer guy. And they have 8 or 9 Pro Bowlers as a special teams guy. They're that good. Yeah, they might not have been a great wide receiver, but they are really good special teamers. And I think the NFL they're going to have to look at the Hall of Fame after the bullshit that just went on with Belichick.
And Bob
they really need to look at that. They really need to look at that and go,
They're saving them two for next year to go in with Brady to make it a New England special.
By the way,
there's that video. I can't remember the name of the creator, but he's like, he has the little whiteboard up. He goes, so the coach has, X amount of wins, and he's in the Hall of Fame. So this coach who has 333 wins should be in the Hall of Fame. No, that guy. I mean, you probably know.
Okay, but his logic is completely flawed because Belichick will get in. There has not. We talked about this last week. We talked about this last week. There has not been one coach that's put in the Hall of Fame within the first 5 years of their eligibility. Dude, not one.
Number 2 all time.
Not one. Not even Shula. Not even Shula was playoff
win. Number 1.
Are you guys against him going in next year with Brady? Are you guys like? They got to start like, it's going to be Brady. It's going to be Gronk. It's going to be Kraft. It's going to be Belichick. It's going to be a New England special
next year. Yeah, but I mean, I
so why not wait till next year?
Like, dude, if there was any coach,
2 years. I'm sorry, 2 years. I'm sorry.
If there's any coach that should have been a first
Brady's
ballot.
27, right, Ken?
Yeah, it's 5 years. Year 2.
Or 28.
4 years.
28.
28, they'll be eligible.
Yeah. I'm sorry. If there's any coach who should have gone in first ballot, Belichick is like by and far way ahead of every other coach in the Hall of Fame.
There's all these reasons for him not to go in first ballot.
None of them are legit.
Spygate, Deflategate.
Deflategate was debunked like so freaking quick, and that wasn't on him. That's more of a Brady thing than a coach thing.
Which is why I have no regard for either one of them. If
but, I
I'm
mean,
allowed, if I know what plays are going on, and I can cater the equipment to the way I want it, hell yeah, I could win Super Bowls too.
Well, look at Belichick. Second all-time wins, all-time for coaches. Number 1 all-time for playoff wins. Number 1 all-time for Super Bowl appearances. Number 1 all-time for Super Bowl win. I mean, really?
Okay, now let's take out the Patriots years.
Well, that was 20 years of his career. That's by and large a big. Now you win the 2 Super Bowls, not with the Pats. But he's got 2 other Super Bowls. But I mean,
when he was
even if you took out the Flakegate, here's the thing, Rich. Let's say we take out the Flakegate year and Spygate year. He still got the most. Even without those 2 years, he still leads in all those stat lines. Even without those 2 years.
And he's got 8 Super Bowls.
He'd have 4. He'd be tied with Noel for the most.
He'd be tied with Noel with Super Bowls.
Yep.
The Patriots would only have 4.
He'd still be number 2 all-time in wins. He would still be number 1 all-time in playoff wins.
Belichick would still have 6 Super Bowls, Rich.
Yeah, because he's got 2 additional ones he went to, not with the Pats. I'm sorry, if there was any coach you could make the argument for. Look, I'm not.
I said hi to Ann. What are you talking about?
I'm not a Patriots fan by any means or stretch of the imagination. But if there was any head coach you could say, yeah, he's got the qualifications to be a first ballot Hall of Famer, it was Bill Belichick.
Yeah.
But Bill Polian,
I'm gonna reset because I'm having a connection issue. I'm gonna reset. So because I go away, I'll be right back.
Bill Polian's feelings got hurt because he got whipped up by him for decades. Now he's not going to let him in. Okay.
I don't know why you guys are so against like my philosophy here.
What's your philosophy? What the
Just
whole
let
the
him
whole
go
plan?
with Brady and Gronk. You got to start saving money somewhere. I know you want this place packed every year, but eventually you got to start putting them in by teams.
But come on, man. Like everyone in the NFL community, almost a large portion, obviously not everyone, but a huge, overwhelming majority of people are like, dude, how is he not a first ballot?
I get it, but I'm just saying, like, go ahead, Dylan.
Go ahead.
Number 3 play in Super Bowl history, and I can't believe none of you would have said this play. Marcus Allen's Super Bowl run against the Redskins in Tampa. Number 2, John Elway's leap in the.
I said John Elway's leap.
Number 1, David Tyree's helmet catch.
Subjective, like every other list, but yeah.
Well, my opinion.
What's not subjective is Bill Belichick's record overall. I'm sorry.
Okay, so get to the game this year.
Yay.
Seahawks, Patriots.
The Patriots win. I hope they open up against the Steelers on Monday night or on Thursday night football next year, because we're in New England next year, and that would be the biggest rub in the face ever to say Yins didn't do it first.
I'll tell you what. I think
that might get a fire back under this team.
I'll tell you what I think would happen if the Patriots won the Super Bowl. New England would either open up against Denver or against Pittsburgh, because Buffalo will probably get a home Sunday night game either week 1 or week 2.
Or they could open up against neither of them, because, like, when the Eagles won the Super Bowl, who did they open up against?
The Cowboys. But the Bills aren't going to have the Bills are going to have a primetime game debut in their new stadium. So for the Seahawks,
trying to bring the rivalry back because they'll have 7 and they beat us there. We have 6.
Or they could even face Kansas City. They could face Philly. It depends where that game is even located at.
New England.
Now we got 9 international. No, is it 8 or 9?
I said if New England wins, that's what the NFL should do.
Yeah, there's a lot of things they can do. This is going to be I think this will be one of the lower rated games. That'll be the highest rated game, because the NFL will have all their bots on all the different apps pumping the numbers up. But this game, actually, as far as Super Bowl build up, the NFL is worried when they're starting to already announce the European schedule. They're starting to announce other things because of their halftime show drawing negative media. There isn't a lot of buzz about the game itself outside of the 2 markets that have teams in it. This Super Bowl could be one of the lowest rated Super Bowls we've seen in 10 years.
Not possible.
I mean, especially like people are look at the Drake May story is kind of cool. And it's kind of like, wow, New England already bounced back, like, 4 years removed from Brady. They're able to get back to a Super Bowl with basically a whole new roster, new coaching staff, new everything. The only thing that's the same is Robert Kraft, pretty much, right? I mean, it's a cool story, but it's New England going back to the Super Bowl. People are like, yeah, okay, whatever.
I think it's weird that Drake May is in the Super Bowl before Josh Allen, but that's here and neither there.
Well, actually, the funnier one, Dylan, is now Josh Allen cannot be the first from his draft class as quarterback to get to the Super Bowl because Ginger Jesus is there. Sam Darnold was drafted the same year. Sam Darnold is the first quarterback from that draft class to make a Super Bowl appearance.
Before Lamar, before Josh.
Yep.
Yeah.
Before Baker.
Yep.
Was the first overall pick in that draft.
Yeah.
So,
but has he ever really been on a Super Bowl caliber team?
Yes. Last year, and they screwed the pooch in Minnesota because they were a Super Bowl caliber team. that screwed the pooch in that playoff game. They had the talent to get there.
Oh, it's the biggest James Harden fan now.
I think that Vikings team had the talent. They just screwed the pooch in that playoff game.
And now the Vikings
2 good years of Darnold, actually.
Yeah.
But that's probably why
Mr.
Quezzy got
Evans.
fired. You know, Quezzy probably got fired partially because Sam Darnold got to the Super Bowl this year after they let him walk out the door.
So, Evan, what do you think about your new head coach now?
It's growing on me, but I still think it was the wrong hire. And I think that him being 60 this week, is he really going to coach this team for the next decade and lead a dynasty? I don't think so. Or even something competent to at least be a continuous playoff contender.
So Steelers fan, I take it.
Who,
Yeah.
who in your eyes would have been the right hire?
You're not going to like it, but Shieldhouse.
Who?
And I understand Nate Shieldhouse, and I also understand why they
Okay.
didn't do it.
You Steelers fan, correct?
Cool.
What team is yours?
I'm a Browns fan. I'm all
Oh,
Cleveland.
Browns. Okay. I almost thought you were a Steelers fan talking about a guy who's not going to be there for a long time because the Steelers hired a guy who's probably got 5 years until he retires. But yeah, the Browns coaching. There are a couple coaching hires in this circle, this cycle that I'm kind of like, interesting.
I can understand the
Browns is one of them.
Shieldhouse thought, though.
The things that made me want Shieldhouse, even though I am a fan of Grant Udinski, is that Shieldhouse played quarterback. He helps. Well, let me go down the list correctly. He played quarterback. He coached in college. He had a little bit of play calling in college. He knows the college game, so he has a vast knowledge of what players are coming in and what they can do and what kind of how they would fit his scheme or how he could scheme around the players, whichever way he would look at it. And also, he's been around some of the most successful coaches over the last 2, 3 years. And if you're helping the best coach in the league right now with his offense, I don't see why going for a young guy where you're obviously not going to win a Super Bowl this year, yet alone make the playoffs. Why not go young and continue to build on what is there?
You know what I do like about that hire, though, Evan, is that the expectation isn't like we had with my team with Chicago. It's like when we got Ben Johnson, the expectation was at a certain level because it's Ben Johnson, right? And the talent that the Bears already had. With Cleveland, this hire, he's got a little wiggle room for you guys. You don't have to be like even an 8-win team. Like I think Cleveland, if they go to a 6-7 win, solid, look like they're just looking better and win 6-7, it buys them an extra year of wiggle room. That pressure of, oh, you have to flip the team in 1 year, I don't think is there for Cleveland. Like some of these coaching hires, I kind of like, but then at the same time, I was like, you know what though? You can be pleasantly surprised, and because of the hire, you don't put that, oh my God, they have to get 10. Like if you hire a big name head coach in Cleveland, let's say Harbaugh comes to Cleveland, they're going to expect like next year you're a 10-win team, right? You get a guy like what Cleveland does, you kind of back that off a little bit and give them a little bit more room to maneuver.
But that's what this franchise needs. We're always kicking the can. We've never gotten the guy, except for when it was Hugh Jackson, even though I totally disagreed with the idea of Hugh Jackson. We've never hired the guy. We've never had real expectations here. And you have a defense, you have veteran players that want to win. And who's better than to do that than to get a guy where the expectations are high? And the expectation is go out, kick some ass, and win now.
Yeah, but I think your expectations should be higher than what they were this year because your roster, while you've got one of the best pass rushers in football, minus that, there's a lot of needs to be addressed player wise, personnel wise. So I can't compare.
Only on the offensive side of the ball.
A pretty loaded roster for Ben Johnson.
I think everyone on this football team, quarterback.
No, they got a good running back when he's healthy.
Besides the defense, I agree.
I got 2 good running backs.
Yeah, I mean, they doesn't say they're like So this buys them a year to pick up personnel to improve and start raising the expectations. So don't raise the expectations from 10 to 100. Go from 10 to 60, and then from 60 to 80, and then expect the moon after that. Like, give this guy 3 years, and every year you need to be better. And by year 3, you need to be a playoff team. Like, not mitigate your expectations, but set reasonable ones. Because unfortunately, fan bases go, oh, well, we're automatically, because look at Vrabel, first year, and he's in the Super Bowl. Now every team wants Vrabel and Ben Johnson like success in their first year, but they don't have the personnel. But now what Cleveland's doing, they give themselves a little wiggle room to get some personnel in the draft this year, to sign some free agents, and to raise the bar. And then to say, hey, look, we can raise the bar further. Let's demand it and then do it.
I disagree because for a city like this in Cleveland, that's a loser mentality. The only time that this team has ever had expectations was after the year we faced Kansas City in the playoffs and we beat during the COVID year. They've never had expectations. The fan base always expects this team to lose. So again, going with another guy that's just to kick the can down the road is not the hire. The only
I don't
other
think
hire
he's
that would
the
have
can down the road guy though.
it is. He's 60. He's not going to coach past 68. He's not going to last that long because if he doesn't turn the offense around by the end of this second year, he's gone.
So you think he's more of a bridge? I mean, I can agree with that to a degree. I see what you're saying, but
he's gone, and I can give you the facts. Look at everybody else who's been hired on this team, whether it's an offensive coordinator, head coach, defensive coordinator, or a GM under Jimmy Haslam.
If he's a bridge coach because of his age, who do you think they have in the wings that he may be grooming to be the next head coach to take it forward?
No one, because they're dumb enough to not swing for the fences and get the next young guy. You've already committed to the rebuild, so why not go get the young guy? Everybody he's just brought over from Baltimore are not head coach material.
Hey, Evan, might the problem Cleveland's facing is that simply your owner is just firing people? I mean, why the Browns got rid of Kevin Stefanski is beyond me, because Kevin Stefanski was a really good coach, won a playoff game against, sorry, Rich, the Steelers. But yet Cleveland's like, oh, we'll get rid of him. When he won 2 Coach of the Year titles.
It wasn't Stefanski. It was the GM and the ownership who decided.
No.
I mean, think about it. They were tracking north, right? Evan, back me up on this, or tell me if I'm wrong. You guys are tracking north when you guys had Baker, and then you guys go with Baker and win a playoff game, right? And the team's like, wow, we're doing good, and then it's like, well, we're gonna kick Baker to the curb and go sign the masseuse boy.
Well, that wasn't
I'll say this. I'll say this. You're close, but you're closer to wrong than you are right.
Okay.
The reason being is because, yes, we had a trajectory with Baker, but Baker's issue was the fact that the first coach he gets drafted by puts a chip on his shoulder. He's fired. They go ahead and hire the guy he wants. He's fired. Then they bring in another guy, and they get rid of his staff quietly. Not the Van Pelts, not the Stump Mitchells, but guys that are under him that have control on the things in the quarterback meetings and things like that. They're gone because Baker wanted them gone. The reason that whole thing happened was because they knew that their quarterback and their coach, who they had bought into and just paid all this money, who just won Coach of the Year and got them a playoff win, their quarterback secretly hates him. So they had to make a move. The only reason that they went for Deshaun Watson is because Russell Wilson said no. Then Jimmy Haslam got in the way once he got told no and gave out a max contract. The reason that Kevin Stefanski was fired this year is less about the record and more about the players. When you look at Kevin Stefanski it's actually more about Kevin Stefanski than it is about the players. Because although when he got here, yes, he had a stacked roster, we're still running the same plays from when he got here. The only thing that saved him was Joe Flacco. If Joe Flacco doesn't come and have that magical run and we lose in the first round to the Texans, he's gone that year. It didn't matter if he had 5 quarterbacks or 1. He was gone because the offense was predictable and players were starting to give up on him. And that's why he's gone. It's not that he's not a good coach. He fails to adjust. That's the only thing I have an issue with him.
When's your new stadium going to be done?
They started digging ground They start digging ground in about 3 weeks.
Maybe
Oh, Evan,
they're
is
going to
that
try
gonna
to
be
line it up where they get a new coach with the new stadium. Who knows?
that stadium going to be closer to you or further?
About the same, because the stadium is about
Is-
45 minutes on the road, about 25 minutes on the freeway. But now that it's closer to the airport, it's about 30 minutes on the freeway, and
Hey, at
about
least you know where your stadium is being built.
so it's not bad. But again, that's the other side of the coin here. You're getting a bridge coach who doesn't have a protege under him who can run or coach a team versus getting the guy that you can let coach and run the team and see if you got something. And then you have that coach going into your new stadium with a high powered offense with some remnants and some replacements of this stout defense that we have right now.
Well, I know
Um,
we've been talking a lot about the guys that have been hired to take spots. Flying under the radar has been something that I don't think a lot of us have really thought about, except for one person in this group, and that's an extension that got given
just
out
on
to a
their
certain head coach in Green
Oh no,
Bay.
I thought about it too. Jason's
Um,
not the only one.
Jason, I mean, you were ready to run Matt LaFleur out on the first thing smoking. And then the
Right,
team
go
turns around and gives him an extension. Thoughts?
Okay, so here are my initial thoughts. And I'm gonna try my best to not sound like a hypocrite, but I probably will anyway, so oh well, so be it. My initial thoughts are these, okay? At some point, you can have a head coach for a certain amount of time to where you finally decide that you need a new voice, you need a new direction, you need new leadership both in and out of the locker room. The Buffalo Bills made that decision the hard way when they let Sean McDermott go because they decided, okay, we need a new direction, new leadership. I feel that way with the Green Bay Packers right now. I feel like we've gone as far as we can possibly go with Matt LaFleur, Brian Gutekunst as the two main guys calling the shots. Now, I have all the respect in the world for Ed Policy. I think Ed Policy is a decent businessman. He seems to have a general idea of what he wants to do. But the problem is that all we've gotten with Matt LaFleur are solid to really good regular seasons and early playoff exits. We haven't gotten past the NFC Championship round since Lord knows when, and we all know when that was. So as much as I don't agree with them giving LaFleur and Gutekunst and everyone else their extensions, when I look at the rest of the coaching pool, when I look at the rest of the executive pool out there, the Packers are one of those teams, Rich and everyone, that they contend every season, and they're like the Steelers. They expect to contend every single season. And so when you look at the coaching pool that was available out there, when you look at the executives that were available out there, who out there could they have brought in from a pool of Mike McDaniel? And now I know they hired Jonathan Gannon as their defensive coordinator, but who out there amongst the available head coaches, guys like Chris Shula, Mike McDaniel, so on and so forth, could they have brought in to make them a legitimate contender next season? The answer to that question is no. So with that being said, I think despite the fact that I feel they need to move on, ultimately I think they made the right decision by retaining LaFleur and Gutekunst at this time. Because at least with those two guys back, we know that there will still be some stability there. There will still be some level of expectancy. And I'm as far as where they go beyond, I don't know. There are some difficult changes that need to be made within that organization from both levels, from the front office down onto the field. And I think for the first time this season, Matt LaFleur hopefully has fully realized the scope of his coaching and that he needs to get better, but his coaches need to get better as well. So that's my take on it, Rich. Again, I'm trying not to sound hypocritical, but it's really hard to when, up in here in my heart, I don't want him to come back. But up here, I think it ultimately was the right decision for them to bring him back.
We were talking about a lot on the morning show because my co-host is a Packers fan, so
yeah,
this got a lot of airtime for us. And Jason, I kind of agree with you on a lot of it. I mean, honestly, I don't know. Maybe they could have gotten McDermott in. Maybe they could have done something different there. But and Gutekunst kind of saved his job with the trade. So it's like, okay, well, give LaFleur the extension. Gutekunst gets the extension because of the trade, and it's not his fault that they lost to the Bears in the playoffs, which was a great game, by the way. It wasn't like they got blown out or completely shredded, and then you had the big injury to the big trade. So maybe you give them a little credit there. But I know a lot of Packer fans, so I deal with them daily, who coming into the New York Giants game were like, look, if the Packers lose this Giants game, fire LaFleur. And let's not forget, the Packers were literally the only reason they made the playoffs is because of a tie. Had they lost, if they lost to the Cowboys, they don't get to the playoffs this year. So I agree a lot with what Jason said. It's going to be interesting because you might be able to say now that LaFleur is not going to be the best LaFleur head coach from the NFL next year. His brother might outshine him in Arizona. Because when I watch LaFleur now, his play calling, like Jason said, has gotten kind of bland. You kind of know what's coming. Their personnel wise, they have issues that they haven't addressed under Gutekunst. They've let their offensive line slip, which used to be that was their thing. Like the running joke was to be, hey, you need another offensive lineman, just go to Jason's garden. They grow him in the backyard in Green Bay. Now that Zach Tom is going to be back, but how healthy is he going to be? They've got other line issues defensively. They've got outside of Micah, they got some issues. You got some fans who want some folks that you might be surprised that they want gone out of Green Bay. So Green Bay is weird in terms of they've been the best of the worst for so long that now they don't know how to react if the rest of the division got better. And that basically the whole division won at least 9 games this year is troubling for Green Bay. And while they made the playoffs, they can mask it a little bit because we got to the playoffs. They're in trouble.
Wow.
The rest of the division's caught up. And Green Bay is slipping. And it's not like, break it down the easier way. Matt LaFleur with Jordan Love as a tandem have never won the division. Goff has won it twice. Caleb has now won it in his second year, and Ben Johnson's first year. And if you're a Green Bay fan, you're going, what the hell? So I think he's on a short lease. They got the extension, but I would say their seats are still pretty warm in Green Bay.
I agree. Yeah, I think the extension. I think the extensions for both those guys was more or less okay. This is it. This is your official last chance to prove to us that you can win with the talent you guys are putting on the field. And something else too. It's ironic because Jordan Love had the best season of his career this year. He was second in the NFL overall in pass completion percentage. He played his best football on the field. He didn't try and do too much. He didn't turn the ball over a lot. So, Jordan took some big steps forward in his development, but now we're getting to the point in Jordan's career where, okay, you've taken these steps, but now it's time to put up or shut up. Okay. And so now, it gets to the point where, all right, the Packers, it's just not on LaFleur and Gutekunst now. It also officially falls now on Jordan. And it also officially falls now on Josh Jacobs, whom they brought in as a free agent, which, by the way, I still think was a great decision that they brought him in.
And it also Jason, with Jordan, people need to remember he's on year 7.
Yep, that's right.
People forget that. They think, oh, this is year 4. No, this is year 7. He's not a spring chicken he's not one of these hot young quarterbacks. He's year 7, guys. He's been around for a minute now. So with Love, they've got probably a window of opportunity while he's in his peak range, which looks like he got into this year finally. They've got to do some things, and they drafted their first wide receiver in 2 decades in the first round. And while he showed a little bit of a flash in that playoff game, for the most part for this year, it was like, did they draft a wide receiver?
Okay, but see, I chalk that up not to Golden being a bust. I chalk that up to LaFleur just not utilizing him at all.
Right.
Because
I'm just saying, where was he all year? Why did LaFleur? And some Packer fans will give you the way it's done in Green Bay, you have to earn your stripes and your playing time through years. No. That's Matt LaFleur not calling his number and Jordan Love not having faith to throw to him.
Is
But
this a
like
true statement there?
what?
Nah, Mike and Louise put on there.
Not from how
Take Willis to Miami.
Oh,
Actually,
that's a hot rumor because look at the head coaches. But yeah, I mean Green Bay's got some issues, and I agree with Jason that I think this was the kind of the warning shot. Like we're gonna give this to you, but look at you need to do something, and you're only getting this because there's really not another option right now. But if you're not getting it done, and next year there's another option, your extension might not mean much.
Yeah. So yeah, that's how I feel about it, Rich. So, I'll just say I'm 50-50. I'm not excited about it, but I'm not exactly bummed out about it either. I'll leave it at that.
Bears fans, believe it or not, Jason, are about where you're at too.
I
They're just kind
got
of
you.
like, well, they're like, it's not good. It's good that we know what we got. They're not going to get any, they're kind of ambivalent about it too. It's like,
So guys, I've got a question. If Sam Darnold wins this Super Bowl on Sunday, and within 3 words, where would you rank his story from being the number 3 pick in the Jets to a potential Super Bowl? Where would you rate Sam Darnold's story in 3 words? Go around the room. Jason, you first.
Well, if he wins the Super Bowl, I don't think his story will be quite as feel good as Kurt Warner's was when he won the Super Bowl with the Rams. But I will say this, that it will be on a scale of 1 to 10, Dylan. I think it'll be about maybe a 6 or a 7, just simply because Darnold started out with some bad teams, went to a good team in the 49ers, saw the writing on the wall when they signed Brock Purdy to an extension, wasn't going to get any time there, goes to a potentially great team with the Vikings, and saw even more writing on the wall when they drafted J.J. McCarthy and they decided to move on from him. He's had to go through a lot of adversity. And you know what? Even when he was at USC, guys, I saw him play a lot of football at USC. He was a decent quarterback while playing at Southern Cal. He had good command of the offense back then, but he was never considered coming out of high school, he was one of the top highly regarded quarterbacks out of high school. But coming from college to the pros, I mean, there were a lot of scouts who didn't even have him as a first round or a second round draft pick, for crying out loud. So he's had to overcome a lot of adversity to get where he's at. But so, yeah, Dylan, on that feel good scale, 1 to 10 for me, it's probably about a 6 or a 7. I still think Kurt Warner's is bar none the best ever. That's just my opinion.
I've got a 3-letter phrase. USC.
Hey, 3 words of Sam Darnold, his story. You ready? Got Quezzy fired. I mean, that had to be a big part of the Quezzy firing because they let Sam Darnold walk out the door for nothing, and then he's in the Super Bowl the next year after he had another magnificent year where he's in the MVP conversation. I mean, Quezzy, I think, gets fired for 2 reasons. That, and also when they did the undercover boss thing for Netflix or for Amazon with Jetta, everyone else in the organization said, dude, we know who you are, except for Quezzy. Quezzy had absolutely no idea it was Justin Jefferson. He was the only person in the building who didn't figure it out until Justin said, I'm Justin Jefferson, right? No. Like, dude, you're a... Oh, the 3rd reason, I drafted my players based off PFF grades. So, but the 3 words, if he wins the Super Bowl, got Quezzy fired. And I agree with Jason. I mean, the Kurt Warner story is probably one of the better all-time Super Bowl winning quarterback stories, from the stocking the shelves and playing arena ball one day to the next minute Super Bowl MVP or Super Bowl champ. I mean, that's a great story.
Yeah.
I think though, it's just another resurrection story for Seattle. Look what they did with Geno Smith. And this is just the next one. It's a good feel good. I think I'd rank it like maybe 2nd or 3rd all time in that kind of feel good story thing if he wins it. But the 3 words were got Quezzy fired.
See, my 3 would be go away. because the story of him seeing ghosts would go away. It would now be the story of him turning it all around and becoming a Super Bowl champion.
So maybe it should be 6 words then, Rich. Ghost gone away, getting crazy fired.
There you go. See, but yeah, I mean, you could tell even when he was with the Jets, he had tools. It's not like he was out there, just absolutely lost and had absolutely no physical ability to throw, had no, that kind of stuff. But he to me is the epitome of a quarterback that I talk about a lot. That if you make him throw 40 or 50 times, you're screwed. If he has to throw it 20, 25 times and can control the game, 30 at the most, then you got a shot with him. And he'll hit the occasional deep ball. Doesn't hurt that you have a receiver like JSN, which, like he had Justin Jefferson in Minnesota. It doesn't hurt to have that as an asset as well. But, you could tell he could play. It was just a matter of being in that the right situation. And he hadn't been in that situation till he got to Minnesota. It's a good story. It's one of those stories that I'm sure they're going to hammer a ton during the 94-hour pregame show that I think starts tomorrow afternoon. But it's win or lose, it's a good story. Win or lose, it's a good showing for him. And whether he stays in Seattle or not, and they'd be stupid if they let him go. That team might have a couple of years run in them.
Seattle's second youngest team in the league.
Hey, I don't think that old, by the way,
Jason,
guys.
can we see a picture of your dog?
Evan, what do you got?
I was gonna say 2 phrases.
Yeah, Molly.
I was gonna say 2 phrases. The first one, Cam was right in the sense of game managers and game changers as far as you see how quarterbacks go, but it also pairs with the second thing I was going to say was not patient enough. It's starting to seem like a lot of these teams draft a quarterback before they're ready to have one, and then when he doesn't perform, they ship him off somewhere, and then he goes to a second or third team, and then they start looking like what they were drafted to be. They start looking like what you expect from a starting quarterback in the NFL. So those were the 2 things that I would say. But as far as the story, I don't think it changes much. I think what it does is it puts a nice shiny diamond in his belt and a nice paycheck in his bank. But I think if he has continued success, then it changes the narrative that Rich was talking about. Because right now, I'm not going to say that his play is bad, and that's not what I mean by this phrase. But this offense, when he's not cooking, looks like the Bears with Rex Grossman at quarterback.
Hey, now.
He's got a great defense, and then on top of that, you're turning around and if he can't get time to throw or they can't get the run game going, he's not going to be much. So I
Careful
want
with
to
the
see
Rex
more.
Grossman.
Why is that?
I know players who will, like Desmond Clark, tight end. And I asked him point blank, who was the best quarterback he ever played with? Believe it or not, he said Rex Grossman. He said because when Rex Grossman was on, the dude was insane. He's like, yeah, and then he chuckles, yeah, but when he's off, yeah. But he's like, when Rex Grossman was on his game, he said there was no one better. And this is coming from a former player. And I've talked to a couple former players who'd say the same thing. Rex Grossman kind of gets. We watched Rex Grossman get ruined by Lovie Smith live on TV. But there are a lot of players who will tell you Rex Grossman was actually a really good quarterback that Chicago actually just ruined more than anything.
Just to be a smartass, we could say the same thing about Johnny Manziel. But I did like Rex at Florida. But again, it's 2 different animals, and that's what I'm really trying to get at. So, but I definitely feel because there were moments that he did have where like if he was on, he was that guy. So I see it from both sides.
but by the way, I've got a question for you. Not a trivia question. Question for you guys. What is the best Super Bowl performance you can ever remember?
Are we talking halftime, national anthem?
Individual player in an individual game.
Okay.
Sorry, Prince, Purple Rain in Purple Rain.
That was great.
Prince is number one on halftime show. Whitney Houston's number one on the national anthem. Moving on.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm gonna make an objection. Carrie Underwood is better than Whitney Houston. That just
no.
No. As much as I like Carrie Underwood, no.
Oh, Whitney Houston
No.
really well. Like, after that Super Bowl, they sold that her rendition as a CD single. That is the only time that has ever happened where a performer performed the national anthem at an event, and then they were like, it was so damn good, they had to sell it for sale in music stores across America within a week. No.
And it was the number one record in the country.
Yeah.
It was the number one record in the country for like 9 weeks.
Yeah, no. And you know what's great about Prince?
I'm kidding.
Prince
halftime
performance.
We're gonna put that over the
halftime show is Foo Fighters were on like a year or two before, right? And without Prince's permission, they covered a Prince song. So what did Prince do during his halftime show? He covered the
Foo Fighters song,
and it was actually better than the Foo Fighters. And and Dave Grohl's like, yeah, it was better than us. I mean, hands down, the best show was Prince.
Over Michael Jackson
what were you saying,
in 1993.
Yeah, over Michael Jackson in 93.
Yeah. Those are the top two, though.
Yeah.
Prince and Michael are the top two.
I think we know the most controversial halftime show, and CBS is still paying fines for that.
Yeah, Jackson, Justin Timberlake, wardrobe malfunction. You know what? I mean, we talked about this Monday because like no one's really amped for Bad Bunny. You know what they could have done this year, which would have been a really, really good show? There are two really good options they would have had. Now, granted, they have not had a rock band in about 16 years for a half.
They had Metallica.
They could have Metallica in their hometown. But if they didn't want to go, if that was going to be too hard for them, they could have gone with Linkin Park, who's at the tail end of a very good, very highly successful tour for their new album. And that would have been top 40 / rock enough to kind of break this mold, this funk that they've gotten into. Because actually another show that gets honorable mention was the LA show. That was a great show with Dre and Snoop and Eminem and 50. That was a good halftime show. Objectively, that was one of the better ones in the last decade. But they could have gone a route. They could have gone Linkin Park, and Linkin Park could have brought the house down. They could have gone with Metallica and brought the house down. Instead, they
would have gone
political again.
If they would have gone Metallica, Def Leppard, because Def Leppard's doing a residency in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
If you do Metallica, Def Leppard, you're hitting hit after hit after hit after hit after hit, and everybody's going to know the songs.
Or even Metallica and Linkin Park, you could have done that and just been. I mean, there were options. There were options, and the NFL just Prince though that show. I thought the halftime show was supposed to enhance the experience. Now it's taken away from it.
Yeah, see, really, to me, the only two really good ones they've had in quite a while was the one with Snoop and Dre and those guys, and then Bruno Mars. Those were good. But outside of that, they really haven't had a really good one in forever.
Think Rihanna could have been better. I like Rihanna, but
Rihanna
her
could have
pregnancy
been,
kind of like made it where she couldn't do as much as she wanted. And ball her out to her. She went out there and she did a show as pregnant as she was, and her music is good. I think the show lacked partially because of where she was physically herself. So that wasn't. I don't want to write that one off because that had a lot of great potential. But the NFL, man, they've been shooting themselves in the foot. And this Bad Bunny thing. Look at the puppy bowl is back for the first time in years.
the halftime show that they did for the Christmas game with Snoop, that's going to be 100 times better than what they're going to put on Sunday afternoon. I don't know if you guys all saw that or not, but that was your Super Bowl halftime right there. That was a phenomenal little halftime show.
I'm sorry to interrupt here, but it looks like Brian Angelosi is close to agreeing to a deal that will make him the offensive coordinator of the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Brian Angelosi?
He is the Vikings passing coordinator and tight end.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know.
Or they could go with Jelly Roll, because Jelly Roll does a lot of crossover. You could have had Eminem come out. You could have done the whole Ozzy tribute thing like they just did on the Grammys. I mean, Jelly Roll has a lot of cross appeal too. They could have gone with him and scored a home run.
I wouldn't be surprised if he's doing one here soon. Him and Post Malone are actually touring. In fact, they're coming to Waco in March. Jelly Roll.
And with those two guys, can you imagine the crossover effect they could with all this different special guests? Like NFL used to do good mashups. We had Run DMC on the stage with Nelly and Britney Spears. What a mashup that was, right? I mean, you should do stuff like that now. It's just like,
well, and that's what they did at Christmas. Remember, you had what the heck is her name? Duck Hodges' fiance, Lainey Wilson. She came out and did the Christmas Carol and that kind of thing. And I mean, that's the kind of stuff they should have done.
Can I ask a question to that?
Yeah.
Do you think that a lot of stars are willing to do the Super Bowl? Not the Super Bowl, but willing to do Thanksgiving, willing to do Christmas, but not the Super Bowl because of how big the Super Bowl is, that if they get a bad review or if there's any controversy leading up to the Super Bowl, it's actually magnified versus their performance?
I think there are bands that are so big, Linkin Park, Metallica, just an example, that every time they go out, they do a good show. For those bands, it's not going to affect them. The Who, a lot of people didn't like the Who show, but the Who, it didn't affect the Who. You got bands and artists in general who are big enough that no matter what the controversy going on with the NFL, whatever, it's not going to phase them one way or the other, because Metallica's done huge shows. Linkin Park has done UEFA League Champions League final, which is the next big thing, maybe TV-wise in the Super Bowl or bigger. Or they've done Olympic Games opening ceremonies or stuff like that. I mean, so I think there are bands that, yes, fit that what you're saying, Evan. Like if they're like, oh, maybe I'm not there yet. But then there are other artists who are big enough who it wouldn't make a lick of difference to them, the bigness of it. To them, it's just like, we're going to go do a cool gig. You know what I'm saying? I think there's some artists where it's not bigger than they are. There are some artists that might be bigger than them at this point.
Yeah, but
at least she would go out there and be like, whatever. She wouldn't care. She's big enough. She could care less. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but if she has her own drama, or Drake has his own drama, or Linkin Park has some of their own drama. Diddy, yeah, it might be it might be blown over internet wise, but because you're now being picked to do such a big stage like this.
But like Linkin Park has been apolitical, Metallica's been apolitical. I get what you're saying, but you got a lot of these groups and artists, like Jelly Roll, when asked about stuff, was like apolitical. He's not giving you his opinion of what he believes about all this political stuff. So for those groups, they could care less. Like they'd ask them, well, what do you think? I'm just there to perform music, man. I'm not a political commentator. And that's the response that these bands normally give. Like, so I can see where you're getting at, because for some people they'll see, well, I got to be political now, and there's some bands like, dude, we just play music. We're not getting involved in that. As far as internal issues, like Linkin Park doesn't really have any that I've heard of. Metallica is going good as they are. Jelly Roll, I haven't heard of any problems with him or Post Malone even. Or
By the way, Bear, I can tell that Jelly Roll was the only Grammy winner / guest who actually sounded reasonable, unlike some of the other people the other night, but we'll leave
Well,
it.
'cause he stayed apolitical. I mean, and look at there's some other, like, you know what, who would be a good show is Lil Wayne would be a great show. Talk about crossover appeal. He does stuff with rock bands. He does stuff with everyone. Could you imagine what he could bring to the stage? Like, he could have Flamin' Hanley coming on to do Lollipop with him, and then he could do something with Limp Bizkit. Then he can turn and do something with Drake or Lamar or whoever he wants to do something with. Like, he has that kind of pull. And is he going to be political? He's not going to say shit. He's like, I'm an artist, man. Whatever. I'm just going to do my
Carrie
thing.
Underwood did a lot of collabs
He's
too.
Yeah.
he's not going to do it because they passed over him in his hometown.
You know, that well, maybe, but I mean, he would have made a better. If they would have offered it to him, he might have taken it though. That, you know, that we don't know if I don't think they offered it to him, but I
They
mean,
didn't.
the NFL has just done such a piss poor job lately with their halftime. The halftime show is supposed to enhance the crown jewel of the NFL season, which is the Super Bowl. It's the crown jewel, and the halftime show should enhance it. Whereas lately, the halftime show seems to be taking away from it, not enhancing. The last time I can say that the halftime show truly enhanced it was LA. Because people talked about that halftime performance for weeks afterwards. Riri lasted about a day. Cool. I love her music, but the show was uninspiring, and I get why. It's not totally her fault. I get it. When Queen Bee came on, everyone's like, whatever. It wasn't that good. You know, the buzz on that thing died within 24 hours. This performance, this show is supposed to enhance the spectacle that is the Super Bowl. It is taking away from it that now you're getting an alternative halftime show being put on by Kid Rock and and some country artists, and that with the Turning Point USA folks. You got the Puppy Bowl is back. All this other alternative stuff is out there to take people away from the Super Bowl to it. Well, the NFL let that happen by doing what they've been doing with the halftime show and not making it something that enhances, that people will talk about for 2 or 3 days or a week or two after the actual event. And if this game doesn't wow people, like come down to a great last minute play or something, it will be one of the more forgettable Super Bowls because people don't care that New England's back. They're tired of New England being there. Even though it's a good story with Drake May and the rebuild, blah, 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 and the Sam Darnold things we talked about, outside of Seattle and Boston, not many people care about the storyline of this Super Bowl. And then they care even less because of the halftime entertainment and all the other things going around. And then they care even less because, like, the Bill Belichick snub just puts another black mark on the NFL for a lot of fans. The NFL has done, and so look at the NFL is trying to mitigate. They're doing, well, we're going to play 9 games out of country next year. Dude, they would never drop that before the Super Bowl but they're dropping it now to create some kind of some NFL buzz because the game is lacking the buzz and is actually losing interest because of all the halftime show and everything else.
Hey, Big Rich, you know I'm the trivia savant. You all try to stop me, and it usually doesn't work. What do you have in terms of Super Bowl trivia for us?
Well, I got one that it's not necessarily Super Bowl. It's Hall of Fame related.
Oh,
And this is another one of the ever popular
multiple
projects. Group projects, okay? So, what are, and this is again a group project, what are the top 10 colleges in terms of NFL Hall of Famers?
Oh my God, I just heard this not long.
What is the University of Southern California?
That would be number 1 on the list with 14.
What is the University of Notre Dame?
Yep.
They would be tied for second with 11.
Okay, what is the University of Alabama?
No. I don't think
Alabama has 8. That's tied for 7th.
Ooh. I thought that, maybe that's
You ask for
Miami.
the top 5 or the top 10?
Is
I want
Miami
top
on the
10.
list?
Miami is the team tied with Notre Dame for second.
Okay.
We have Michigan and Ohio State are in the top 10.
Yep.
Michigan and
Florida
Ohio
State.
State both have 9. They are in 5th, tied for 5th.
What is Louisiana State University?
They are tied for 9th.
What about the University of Pittsburgh? They had a great run for a while.
They are 4th with 10.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Is Auburn on the list?
No.
Bo Jackson not in the Hall of Fame.
I got a wild guess on this one.
Trent
Syracuse.
University.
Ooh, Syracuse.
Syracuse is tied for 7th. They are tied with Alabama.
Where does the
So we've
University of
taken
Texas-
care of the top 8. Okay. Now I said 10, but 9th place is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 4-way tie. We have already said 1 in LSU. What are the other 3?
Did we
Minnesota and
say
Illinois.
Sir?
Minnesota and Illinois.
No. Neither one.
What about the University of Texas?
No, sir.
What about Kent
Oklahoma.
University?
Hmm?
What
Oklahoma.
about Kent?
No, sir.
Oh, Penn State.
Oklahoma,
What about
no.
Penn State?
Penn State is another one of them. Yes.
Boom.
Iowa?
7. There's 2 more.
No, it's not my Fresno State.
what is
No. Well,
what
no,
is
but
University
one of them
we
you
said
should
US
get.
We said USC. What about UCLA?
That's the one I was thinking Jason would get. Yes, UCLA. We have 1 left. You guys want a hint?
University of Oregon.
No.
No,
What about Michigan?
Somebody already
No,
said
we already had Michigan.
We already had Michigan.
What about Michigan State?
No, sir.
What is the University of Georgia?
Nope.
I'll take a hint.
Florida State.
Nope.
SMU.
Nope.
UF?
Nope.
Really?
Are they in the SEC, ACC, or Big Ten?
No. That'd
No. What?
that'd be too easy. I've got one.
Okay.
I've got one for you. Did this? Oh, California.
No.
Cal?
Oh crap! What is the University of Stanford?
Nope. And it's Stanford University.
Okay, Stanford. Whatever.
Give
What
us
is
a hint.
Washington for?
Boston College.
Nope.
Okay.
East,
Arkansas.
west, south, north.
West.
A
What is
university
Brigham
of-
Young University?
No.
Not Colorado.
How far west?
That would be too obvious.
West.
It's not, because I don't know if he's going west of Arkansas or west of UF.
Oh,
Like,
no. Okay, let's say west of Texas. How's that?
Okay,
Rich, what
because
about-
my next choice was going to be Baylor, but I'm like, that's not really west.
Rich, what
Um,
about the
That
University of
narrows it down
Arizona?
to, that narrows it down to 110 schools.
Baylor is not correct either. I'm sorry, Jason.
What about the University of Arizona?
Close.
Arizona State.
That would be our answer.
Really? Was
Okay.
ASU? Really?
Arizona State. Arizona State, LSU, Penn State, and UCLA all have 7 alumnus in the NFL Hall of Fame.
You know what? I mean, how
Receiver.
many does Illinois have? Does Illinois
Butkus.
for the singular state of Illinois, or is it just that?
Oh, the state of Illinois?
Yeah, you know the college U of I, University of Illinois.
Butkus.
I know Butkus.
Did Red Grange go to Illinois?
So I thought he did too. That'd be at least 2. But after them, though, it does get kind of.
You actually have. Hold on. Hall of Famers by college. Illinois has 6.
6. Okay.
Dick
Pitt has
Butkus,
10.
Red Grange, George Hallis, Bobby Mitchell, Ray Nitschke, and Hugh Ray.
It's been so.
Not Hugh Ray, but Hugh
Decade.
Ray.
Yeah, the legendary Ray Nitschke, baby, former Green Bay Packer. Thank you.
Yep.
Hey,
You want
right
an
up there
easier
in
one
second
this?
place, Jason.
You guys want an easier one this time?
No, we want a harder. I want a harder one.
We may have a harder one for you in a minute, but here's a little
All right.
softball for you.
I'm just gonna let you know.
What
I got to
two-
bounce after this question.
Okay.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
By the way, Adam,
What
who
two-
wins the Super Bowl?
I'm taking New England. Go ahead, Rich.
What 2 cities are tied for the most Super Bowls hosted with 11 each?
What are Miami and New Orleans?
Told you it was an easier one.
Well, yeah, he's been studying the Super Bowl questions all day. I mean, you put on there what Super Bowl questions can we go over. He's been studying this shit all fucking day.
By the way, the first Super Bowl in New Orleans was not in the Superdome. That was at Tulane Stadium. Super
Right, it
Bowl
was the Steelers and the Vikings, Super Bowl 9.
4. Wait a minute, Super Bowl 4 was in New Orleans. Wait a minute, was
It's
it?
true. Both of those were played at Tulane.
Yeah, because Super Bowl 12 was the first one in the dome.
Okay, here we go. Here's another one. This one will probably be easy, but think about this for a minute. What's the only Super Bowl to not be known by a Roman numeral?
The initial Super Bowl?
Oh, 50. 50.
There you
Really?
Okay. Did not know that.
Now you
Adam's
think
right.
about it, you're right. That's the only one I saw. That's right. You still see it as, yeah, that's interesting. Didn't think of
go. That
that.
took about 30 seconds longer than I thought it was going to.
No, but I
Bill,
mean
you're
that because
cheating,
you
man.
don't
got the answers
don't
right in
think-
front of you.
you don't necessarily think
Huh?
about that. But that makes sense. Now that I think back of it, you're right. Wow. I wonder why they did that for 50.
I don't know.
It's weird.
Big Rich, I got a jet, man.
But hey, how do people get a hold of you, buddy?
Yeah, you guys can follow me on X/Twitter at Dodger Jason. Feel free to follow me and converse with me on there. Before I go on my way out, I just want to say something real quick. My final shout out is to legendary Browns quarterback Bernie Kosar. He originally had a liver transplant a while back. He had some relapses that put him back in the hospital. And I follow his Twitter account, and it's so sad to see what has happened to Bernie physically, because he was one of the toughest competitors I ever saw play at any position. But my thoughts and prayers are with Bernie Kosar. I hope he has a continued speedy recovery. Still a champion. Was a champion at Miami.
He was at home, wasn't he? He was at home, Jay, wasn't he?
I don't know, but at any rate, he's
I
been
could have
having
swore
some
they showed
inspiring.
him. I could have swore they had pictures of him by the lake.
Well, at any rate, just continued prayers to Bernie Kosar. Hope the guy makes a speedy and healthy recovery. With that, again, follow me on X, Dodger Jason. Guys, it was fun again. Great talking with all of you. God bless everyone. Look forward to it again next time.
Always a pleasure, man.
Have a good one, Jason.
You too.
All right, I'm bugging out too. You guys can get me at Sports Talking It on Twitter, guys. You guys can follow me on Driving to the Top Productions. Me and Rich going live tomorrow night. Are we going live, Rich? We didn't even talk about it. As far as we know, we good. All right, we're good. 9:00 tomorrow night, 8 Eastern or Central. Yeah, hey guys, it's been fun. Evan, I love seeing you back on the show. It's good to see you back. Ken, good to see you. Rich, Dylan, always keep pumping it out, doing a good job, guys. And yeah, this cold weather is finally going away, and stop beating the living piss out of me every day, and I feel a little better.
Well,
Good.
stuff,
Go get them,
brother.
man. I'll talk to you tomorrow.
All right, guys.
See you soon.
Yeah, I got to fly too, guys.
Yeah, I'm gonna call it.
So,
All right.
you can get me,
Bear,
You can get me
Rick,
right there at my
Yeah.
name. There we go. Get me right there. Catch me
There you
every
go.
morning, 10 a.m. Central, 11 on the East, 10 and 10 in the morning. House Hall's in flux right now as we're going to take a little bit of time off. But you can catch me there. And then, of course, here every Tuesday and on Wednesday, we're on with JB for that round table, which should be hilarious. Which maybe Jamie will actually show up to that tomorrow, seeing as he's MIA tonight with the shortest outro in podcast history, Jamie Malloy. But yeah, good to see you guys. As far as Dylan for the game, so I know you want us to pick winners and losers. I think we all lost, but you know what? I'm going to take Sam Darnold just to really piss off Vikings fans. I'm going to take the Seahawks just to piss off Vikings fans even more. I could care less who wins this game, though, to be honest.
you know what? I think Drake May and the Patriots are going to go to the Bay Area and make Sam Darnold see ghosts.
And Evan, good to meet you as well. Because I hadn't met you tonight. So good to meet you too as well.
Likewise, nice to meet you. My pick is the Patriots start a new dynasty off of the foot of their kicker.
I'm going Seattle. Kenneth Walker scores 2 rushing, 1 receiving, MVP. Seattle wins 31-28.
Hmm.
I mean, they learned to give the rock to the guy instead of throw it. How long?
What
How long
happens
is
when
that
the
gonna
other?
be
What
for
happens when
Seattle
the
to
other
live that
running
down?
back gets hurt?
Will Seattle ever live that down, not giving Marshawn the rock?
No.
No, never one time.
Okay,
The minute
so
that it
Not
happens
giving Peyton the
again,
rock.
for Evan,
That's up over not
Bear.
giving Peyton the rock.
Okay, so for Evan, Ken, Big Rich, this is Big D signing off. We'll be back with more content as we review, stream, recap all things Super Bowl 60 on the Driving to the Top Productions, Spunky Spectrum Sports YouTube page, and everywhere else. So long for now.